welcome to the NDTV Auto Show. I'm your host Mugdha Mishra and we start the show with a bang. Yes, it is an India exclusive for the viewers of NDTV Auto and it's a Ferrari no less. We all know Ferrari was going to bring the new Roma, but Ferrari has gone ahead and done something unexpected. What is it? Join me as I give you all the details. I am super excited today and that's because I am in Maranello. That means I'm at the birthplace of Ferrari, here to witness the birth of an absolutely new Ferrari. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ferrari Amalfi. This will replace Roma. That means this is now the entry to Ferrari universe. First thing you will notice is that Ferrari Amalfi has a new design language, the one that we have seen in, say, 12 Cilindri. So now you have a little bit more monolithic design, very few creases. One more important aspect is that you will not notice any grille up front. There is a sharp nose and there is just a thin dark recessed band behind which are all the sensors, which extends all the way in this headlamp, seamlessly integrated. There is air vent down below, but absolutely no grille. There are air vents here as well on top of the headlamps. Headlamps themselves are much more sleek and the front now looks less human-like. And just like the way we saw in Roma, you get the Ferrari badge almost exactly where it was in the Roma and of course of similar size as well. This one gets 20-inch forged wheel and of course you can spot carbon fiber all over the car. On the side you can notice there are not that many lines, very smooth treatment of the design here. The rear is bulging out and there is one more interesting thing that I want to show you at the rear and that's this spoiler lip. This is active spoiler. At the speed of 250 kph it produces a downforce of 110 kg while the drag only increases by 4%. Like in the front, at the rear too you get this sleek line joining one end to the other. The tail lamps integrated in the same line and a little definition to highlight the tail lamp. Now of course you can see a lot of carbon fiber here and the quad exhaust that give this car that sporty look that this deserves. This baby Ferrari gets a 631 HP twin-turbo V8 engine derived from the F154 engine family. The blistering 631 HP is delivered at 7,500 RPM, redlining at 7,600. This one does 0 to 100 in 3.3 seconds. How did you like the look of Ferrari Amalfi? I'm absolutely loving it, especially in this Ferrari red. It looks stunning. But there's one thing that has happened inside which every Ferrari lover will definitely love. Let me show you that. And that is the return of physical buttons on the steering wheel. Isn't that cool? Now when you are driving, enjoying your Ferrari, you do not have to take your eyes off the road to fiddle with the touchscreen because you have your buttons right here. Your engine start-stop button makes a comeback to the relief of many a Ferrari fans. You get this 15.6-inch driver display. The clarity is just phenomenal on this and the information you get is absolutely everything that you want to know will be in front of you on this screen. And of course you also get this light here to show you your RPMs. I like this layout because I feel that the airflow will be a lot more convenient, especially in hot countries like India. It will be a lot better and the sense of cooling will be a lot better with this air vent style. So you get a 15.6-inch driver display. Besides the driver display, you have a 10.25-inch infotainment screen and an 8.8-inch screen for the passenger. This center console that you see here is a design masterpiece. Why am I saying that? Well, right now it's carbon fiber wrapped, but what lies underneath is anodized aluminum, a finish which is very smooth, very beautiful, and it can only be done with one full block of aluminum. it looks beautiful, while this carbon fiber is optional. The Ferrari Amalfi is a coupe GT. That means you have 2 seats in the front and there are 2 seats at the back as well. However, they are best suited for young children. So that means that Amalfi will give you 273 liters of boot space, just enough to take a weekend trip to Positano maybe. Well, in case you need a little bit more space, all you have to do is press this button here, the second row folds, and you just have to nudge it a little bit to fold properly. But you will have roughly around 300 plus liters to keep your luggage. Ferrari intends to start delivering the new Amalfi by Q1 FY 2026. So India entry is at least a year away. But this baby Ferrari is sure to turn heads whenever it decides to show up. Mercedes-AMG has launched GT63 and it is fast, does 0 to 100 in 3.2 seconds. And if you want to be faster, you can opt for GT63 Pro, which does 0 to 100 in 3.1 seconds. You get coupe roof line and a dynamic spoiler. Pro variant is 60 kg lighter. That's because of extensive use of carbon fiber and forged alloys. The GT63 Pro also comes equipped with the AMG Performance Package as standard. That includes active cooling for both the front and rear axle differentials. On the side, you have 20-inch alloys. You get 2 options for alloy design and you also get ceramic brakes. The GT63 makes do with standard summer tires, while the Pro gets factory-fitted sports tires. For better handling, GT63 comes with rear axle steering, allowing rear wheel movement of up to 2.5 degrees. And on these long drives when the road gets rough, the GT63 has you covered. It can raise the front axle by 33 mm, helping you glide over bumps with ease. Rear is defined by these beautiful tail lamps and of course quad exhaust. It's a GT, so you have 4 seats so that you can enjoy your race on the weekend and then take this for a long drive with your family as well. Inside you see a familiar setup. You have the AMG steering wheel with mode selectors with this round knob and option to switch off traction control. And you also get these paddle shifters. Again, we have seen this central console setup in many Mercedes, but what is special about this is you get these sports seats which are ventilated to keep you comfortable. Under the hood, you get a 4-liter V8 bi-turbo engine which produces 585 HP of power and 800 Nm torque. The GT63 Pro delivers higher power, 612 HP and a hefty 850 Nm of torque. Top speed is electronically limited at 317 km per hour. And adding to its dynamic edge is the AMG Active Ride Control suspension, featuring active roll stabilization for sharper handling and greater cornering confidence. AMG GT63 is going to cost you 3 crores, and if you want to opt for the Pro variant, it's dearer by 65 lakhs.
The biggest electric van is set to make its India debut. It's premium, feature-loaded and definitely spacious. Meet the MG M9 Electric MPV. Launch is still a few weeks away. This top-line electric offering will be sold through brand's new dealership network, MG Select. MG M9 houses a 90 kWh battery pack which should realistically offer 400 plus kilometers on a single charge. It is powered by a front axle single motor which generates 245 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of peak torque. It gets 3 drive modes and a multi-level regeneration. M9 sounds safe as a house on the spec sheet with 7 airbags, level 2 ADAS and a 5-star at Euro NCAP crash test. M9 has a massive footprint. Spanning over 5.2 meters in length, the M9 electric van is spacious inside out. It rides on 19-inch wheels, comes in 3 signature color options and a single fully loaded trim. The front and back profile are upright with sleek and connected LED lighting. Entry to the second and third rows are through electrically operational sliding doors. The cabin is full of features. Double sunroof, 12-speaker JBL stereo, air purifier, ambient lighting and a 12.3-inch fully digital driver's display are among the long list of features. The captain's seat comes with electronic adjustment, heating, cooling and massage, all accessible through the dedicated touchpad. The third row is equally spacious and the leather seats offer good comfort. Next week on the show, we'll get you the first drive review of MG M9.
Welcome back. You're watching the NDTV Auto Show. If you like watching auto-related content, you can join us on our YouTube channel NDTV Auto. Subscribe to the channel and do press that bell icon so that you get notified every time we upload a video. You can also follow us on your favorite social media platform. Now, let us show you what's happening in the auto world this week.
The Delhi government had announced a ban on the use of end-of-life vehicles, diesel vehicles older than 10 years and petrol vehicles older than 15 years. The new rule did not sit down well with the vehicle owners. However, the Delhi government has now written to the Commission for Air Quality Management saying that the fuel ban on overage vehicles is not feasible due to technological challenges and complex systems, and for now, the fuel ban on old vehicles has been put on hold for now. The next steps from the government are yet to be made clear. Mahindra is gearing up to bring out a bunch of offerings on August 15, 2025. The company released a teaser for a concept vehicle named the Vision T, and now it has also teased the Vision S concept that is slated to debut on the Freedom New platform. The Vision S could be an electric version of the Scorpio or the Scorpio pickup, while the Vision T could be the electric Thar. More details will be revealed as we get closer to the unveil date. The Toyota Innova Hycross is the latest car to be tested in the Bharat NCAP crash tests. The Innova Hycross secured a 5-star safety rating at the Bharat NCAP testbed. The Toyota MPV scored 30.47 points out of 32 in adult occupant protection and 45 out of 49 points for child occupant protection. The Toyota Innova Hycross Hybrid gets multiple safety features like 360-degree camera, 6 airbags, tire pressure monitoring system, hill hold assist, vehicle stability control, and a suite of ADAS features. The government has permitted ride-hailing services like Ola and Uber to set their fares at up to double the base rate during peak times, an increase from the previous limit of 1.5 times, and not to go below 50% during off-peak hours. This change is part of the newly introduced Motor Vehicle Aggregator Guidelines 2025. The Transport Ministry has approved a penalty of 10% of the fare capped at ₹100 to be charged to drivers if a ride is cancelled without a valid reason. A similar fee will also apply to the passengers for cancelling the rides. The states have been advised by the central government to adopt the revised guidelines within 3 months of the date of issuance. For full details on all stories, log on to NDTV Auto. Apples and oranges, chalk and cheese. Not quite. These are two relatively new 125cc scooters. Meet the Suzuki Access 125 refurbished for 2025 and the Hero Xoom 125, all new successor to the Xoom 110. And we'll break down this comparison review in 5 key points: design, features, engine and performance, pricing, and of course the verdict. So let us begin this comparison review of the Hero Xoom 125 and the Suzuki Access 125. Alright, so let us begin with the design of both these scooters, right? Now first, the Suzuki Access 125. It has been reworked for 2025. It could be called a new generation model and it continues to be a traditional family scooter, right? You look at the design, the dimensions, the proportions. It doesn't change drastically from the older model. Now, few key differences between both these scooters. Of course, they look very, very different, but the indicator bulbs on the Access are halogens, although the Xoom 125 gets full LED lighting. Also, the big difference, 12-inch wheel up front and a 10-inch wheel at the rear, and you also see a nice circular disc. But if you come to the Hero Xoom 125, then it gets 14-inch wheels on both ends, nice sporty thick tires, and you get a pedal disc brake as well. And of course, the overall design language of the Xoom 125, sporty, sharp, aggressive, athletic, and it caters to the likes of young professionals and college goers. The Access 125 is more of a family scooter with a general appeal. The projector LED headlight and the sequential LED indicators are segment first features on the Xoom. Fully digital console on the Xoom is small but offers decent legibility. The instrument console on the Access is familiar and you can see it on other Suzuki two-wheelers as well. Xoom also offers turn-by-turn navigation. Both scooters get combined braking system as well. The Access has two cubbyholes on the inside of the front apron. One on the left gets a Type A charger. Xoom 125 gets a Type A charging port as well and two cubbyholes. The Xoom has an underseat storage capacity of 70 liters and is good for half-face helmet, while the Access has a significantly larger capacity of 24.4 liters and can swallow a full-face helmet. The Xoom has a fuel tank capacity of 5 liters, while the Access has 5.3 liters of fuel tank capacity. The range that both of them offer is more or less similar. Talking about the performance of both these scooters, they get a 125cc engine, but the Xoom 125 is of course the more powerful of the two, although marginally. It makes 1.4 odd horsepower more than the Access 125 and just 0.2 Newton meters more. But the difference is that the peak power and torque come literally higher on the Xoom 125. On the Access, it's lower, right? Also, the key highlight here is the fact that the Access has a curb weight of 106 kg, it's very light, and the Xoom 125 has a curb weight of 121 kg, so it's relatively heavier. But on the move, both these scooters feel light, nimble, and very easy to filter through traffic. The performance is definitely better on the Xoom 125. It feels sportier, matches the design of the scooter, right? But the fact is, this is less refined, it has vibrations. The Access 125 feels more refined and it's easier to handle for the aged or the elderly because it's relatively lighter as well. And if you compare the ride quality of both these scooters, then they are more or less similar, but the Access feels slightly more plush. The Xoom 125 feels slightly stiffer, but it's not a deal breaker. Both scooters are similarly priced, with the prices of the Xoom starting at 86,900 rupees, going up to 92,900 rupees, while prices of the Access 125 start at 81,700 rupees and go up to 93,300 rupees. The other scooters that you could look at in the segment are the TVS Ntorq 125, Hero Destiny 125, and others like the Suzuki Access 125 and the TVS Jupiter 125. So it is difficult to pick a winner between these two scooters. One is sporty, athletic, agile, and offers a nice riding experience. The other is a practical, family-oriented scooter with a subtle design and of course with hints of retro touches as well. So it all depends upon you, which kind of scooter do you want to buy and what is the purpose. If you are a young college goer or a professional, then the Xoom 125 makes a lot of sense for you because it has that poise, it has that road presence with its big tires, nice funky colors. But if you're somebody like me who is calm, muted and has subtle taste and preferences, then the Access 125 makes more sense for you. Also, it is proven because it is of course India's best-selling 125cc scooter.
What are the new products that you are going to see? I mean, what exactly is the product roadmap that you have on your mind and Honda Car India is planning for its patrons for the Indian car market?
Yeah, so last year we mentioned that we're going to introduce 5 SUVs till the year 2030. The first one was the Elevate, and then we're going to come up with the first battery electric vehicle which will be offered by Honda next year. And we mentioned it's going to be on the Elevate, but now we have changed the direction, and the strategy is that we're going to introduce a brand new SUV more than 4 meters. It's pretty stylish, very aggressive on design, and we're trying to target the youth buyers. We see a lot of young buyers towards the SUV more than 4 meters.
So with new powertrains coming in, are you focusing on flex fuels or even a different segment altogether? Like Honda currently lacks a factory fitted CNG kits for their cars, and we have seen a huge demand for CNG cars in the recent past. Is that a subject that Honda is exploring too?
Yeah, so CNG is getting quite popular, and specifically in the lower sedan segment, which is the MA segment, the total CNG sales is to a tune of about 60%, whereas in the city sedan segment, CNG is not there, and even the Elevate segment, which is more than 4 meters, is just 3%. So CNG definitely is important. That's the reason why we introduced the CNG option in our Amaze. The most important part is people had some kind of doubt in the mind that does the warranty holds true if it is retrofitment. So yes, we're also honoring the warranty on the CNG retrofitment, and that gives a lot of good boost to the Amaze sales, which we recently introduced. And now coming back to your question, so in terms of powertrains, we're quite focused on more cleaner powertrains, and we believe of course after petrol, the cleanest one is the electric, which we're going to introduce next year. And in between petrol and electric, we have the hybrid. So currently we already have the hybrid engine for city, but in the year 2027, Honda Motors Japan globally is going to introduce a more strong and more refined hybrid engine, and I'm sure India is going to be a part of it, and we will share more details when we are going to come up with that strong hybrid system in future.
Okay, now this one is coming straight from our audience. Okay, so your competitor has introduced a few performance centric models in the Indian market as a part of their CBU route strategy. Honda also has some kick-ass models in their lineup globally, targeted on the performance centric audience. So is there something in your bag for those people, or they'll have to wait a little more?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of requests and a lot of demand from customers that why can't Honda introduce some real nice, exciting models which are there globally available. So we are working on it. And as I said, India is the third largest market, and Honda Motors Japan is quite focused for India, for Honda Cars India to expand the portfolio. So very soon we're going to share, and definitely the one you asked about, the CBU models, high performance models, we are very seriously considering some launches in that space, and very soon we're going to share with you within this year itself.